Okay, a short video about the extended marketing mix. Extended marketing mix. So far, we've looked at the 4 P's. Product, focus again on features, benefits of the product based on customers' research. Also consider branding, packaging, and any element of what you're offering that does not change. So that includes service, warranties, everything that the customer receives as part of that product. Pricing strategy. Pricing strategy depends on your relationship with your customer and knowing how much they're willing to pay. But in addition, knowing how they would look at your product compared to your competitors, so it has a lot to do with positioning. There's some psychological elements of this pricing strategy as well. Place was the third thing, distribution. There's a lot of elements in there, but it also includes, and don't forget, it includes payment. So the business model and how money comes to you is part of your choices that you make. So it might be determined by if people have credit cards or not, for example. So place strategies, starting from the manufacturing or starting from the point of sale or leading to the point of sale. How do you get your product to the customer? There's many different routes you can use these days. Promotional strategies, using a hierarchy of needs, understanding that you're trying to appeal to customers in a way that meets them on a level of either belonging, some kind of safety, perhaps gives them self-esteem, and you're going to use both push and pull strategies to try to reach those customers. Those customers need to be reached through various media, and the media that you choose should be what you find out about your customers. The technology of media for a niche product is going to be different from a mass market product. Mass market products have huge budgets. Money is a huge consideration on how much you're going to spend. And if you are a mass market product, most likely you will use television, newspapers, and other expensive media. But if you're a local niche brand or product, then you're going to have to use more selective media, more direct marketing, and probably you're going to use some social media. It used to be maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, people would just say, okay, we'll just use social media, and that's our marketing promotional strategy. It's not really like that anymore. There's a million products that you can buy in social media, and there's a lot of different costs for how you reach people. So actually a social media campaign now is different. So I'll make an analogy. For example, if you wanted to advertise on television, you wouldn't just put your ad on television, right? Because there's programs and different times of the day. So if you know when your customers are watching TV or which programs that they watch, you're more likely to reach them. You're not going to put your ad randomly on TV. And so TV is the media, but how you select where you advertise and when you advertise and which programs is how you use the media. And the same is now true for social media. We have lots of pages. We have YouTube videos. YouTube ads are very popular now, and you have to decide which kind of pages are going to meet your target market. So in your promotional campaign, I want you to suggest how you're going to use YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and whatever social media you use. Not just, yes, we're going to use it, how? And also you're going to have to kind of figure out how much it's going to cost, pricing strategy with the media that you choose. I'm on page 62 in the book. Now, of course, as you go through, this book is about 5 years old. So there's elements in this book that are a little bit out of date. But when we think about M-commerce, this means mobile commerce, slightly different from e-commerce. E-commerce is more general. It means anything that's online. M-commerce means that it's specifically related to mobile. That hypertag thing you can see on page 62 here, they're taking a picture of a QR code, and that's similar to a hypertag. Something that's supposed to give you information directly in that moment. Apps, of course, there's a lot of apps out there that you can tie yourself to as well, so that's another place to research advertising. M-commerce means mobile commerce. It is the use of mobile devices such as phones and personal digital assistants to buy products and services. A web page designed for mobile devices is open on the phone, though this web page is goods and services may be purchased and paid for through a linked payment service. We all know how this works. So apps can give us a bunch of different choices that we wouldn't have. They can specialize, whether it's in movie tickets or Agoda, something to get hotels. You know, there's a million apps. You can do your banking through an app. Some people feel it's more safe to work through an app. It's harder to copy an app and do phishing or some kind of internet scam than it is to do through a web page. So this is very old examples. Here it says social media too, and it's like, you know, responding to comments and feedback, the business can build relationships with customers. So that's personal selling, and that's also what I would put as part of process maybe, rather than promotion. Responding to customers online is great to get feedback and also to be able to communicate with them. However, is it promotion? I think it's after-sales service. It's more like customer service. 5 years ago, they would just talk about having a Facebook page. That was the extent of your marketing on Facebook. Open a page on Facebook, and then people will come to you. Here on page 63 at the top, it says, create a social media profile for the business or brand. Easy enough. Include links to social media pages on the business homepage. So link your website to your Facebook page. Of course, now this is all connected to Google Maps, the same thing. You can connect there. You can even have comments under Google Maps, pictures, etc. Provide compelling reasons for people to keep returning to the business page. So at that time, it was about updates. And I think that's, you know, that's a thing, I guess, updates. You know, you can have uses of your product, happy customers, promotions where you have customers make a video maybe and put on YouTube and you can give them free stuff. That would be cool. Be actively involved. Frequently update your pages and status and blah, blah, blah. So social media means not only just putting up like a website, but it means updating. Excuse me, I don't know why my nose has trouble today. I did not have trouble this morning. So that's just a short review, roundup of the other 4 Ps. Now on page 64, there's something called the extended marketing mix. Extended, this is the one that we're looking at here. So I'll let some of this play.
Look at marketing and marketing strategy. You soon realise that marketing is more complex than is commonly described using the classic 4 Ps of marketing. The marketing mix is now usually extended to include 3 more Ps. So let's have a quick look at what we mean by the extended marketing mix. Now the marketing mix, this should be familiar to you if you've already started studying marketing. It's all about the different parts of marketing that are used by a business and combining together try to meet the needs and expectations of customers. And it's called a mix because each part of the mix, each element needs to work together in order to be successful. And that's the idea of the marketing mix. It's a blend of elements that hopefully are the right mix in order to be competitive. The classic 4 Ps, which I mentioned right at the start, of course, are firstly product. What is the actual service or product that you and I, the customer, buys? Price, how much do we pay for that product or service? And how is that determined? Place, where do we find the product? How is it distributed to us? How do we find out about it? How do we buy it? And lastly, promotion. How do businesses discover us? How do they find us and persuade us to part with our money for the product or service? Those are the traditional 4 Ps. But we've mentioned that the 4 Ps has been extended to include 3 new ones. And here they are. Firstly, people. Particularly relevant, of course, in a service industry context. The product is so closely aligned with the people who make contact with customers who deliver the service, deliver the product. The next P is process. Of course, it's closely aligned to operations or productions. What are the systems, the processes that actually deliver the product or services to us? And lastly, the physical environment. What are the elements of the physical?
I'm going to argue against this one.
The environment in which we either buy or experience the product. How does that help blend into the marketing mix to make a business competitive? So there we have it. 4 Ps has been extended to the 7 Ps. Now, of course, in any particular product or service, not every part of the extended mix will be as important as others. It's always the case, isn't it, that product and price to the original 4 Ps are fundamental. But increasingly, as you look at service and digital businesses, you find that other elements of the extended mix are just as important. So let's give you a quick example of this just to help illustrate what the 7 Ps are.
So they're going to look at one company here. My 7 P is going to be performance. That's in our book too. Actually, our book has like 8 Ps in it. But I think that the way that you design, they're saying this physical presence is about the signage or just the design of the cafe. I look at that as a product. I mean, you're trying to replicate that in each cafe that you make. It's not supposed to change. I don't know. I feel like that's part of product. Here's a gym. So they're going to go down the strategies that this gym means or what they do. They have a logo there, Pure Drip Gym. I guess it's a logo that kind of indicates that it's supposed to look like the letter P, but I guess it also looks like a running track or something, so that kind of works, I guess.
And let's take an example from the health and leisure industry, the fast emerging budget or low-cost gym sector. And I've just picked one business, which is now the UK market leader, the largest operator of gyms and fitness clubs in the UK, called Pure Gym. Well, let's have a look at what the 7 elements of the mix are. Firstly, of course, the product, the gym itself, which is a very well equipped but very focused product range in terms of the exercise equipment that's available and also the exercise classes. It's a no-frills approach. You won't find swimming pools in Pure Gyms. The price, they've gone for a low-cost, therefore low-price strategy, and also using dynamic pricing, essentially sold online, but where the idea is to attract members into the gym at a low price using a flexible contract, almost pay as you go. Pure Gym uses a variety of different promotional activities, including billboard advertising as well as online advertising. And of course, you'll find these Pure Gyms in a variety of different locations. So when we're looking at place, Pure Gym.
So that's, product, very stripped down, but predictable. So anybody who wants to go to the gym, in any different gym, you're traveling, you're for work, you're in a different neighborhood, you can go to a different gym, you can use the same kind of equipment that you're used to. You don't have to adjust to the equipment every time. So it's very predictable. The price point is quite low. They're trying to have a quantity of customers. They're advertising on the m-commerce, on apps. They have apps too. And the locations are probably in most neighborhoods. And so it's like a chain, almost like a neighborhood gym thing. Those are the first 4 Ps.
Things have occupied recently vacated office blocks, as well as all kinds of other locations of different shapes and sizes. Not just the large out-of-time fitness clubs that used to be the norm in the industry. But let's add in 3 more elements to the mix, just so you can see the extended mix in action. Firstly, of course, we mentioned the fifth being people. Who are the people who help deliver product or service? Now, in the case of Pure Gym, they employ very few people, but what they do have within their business are personal trainers. Nearly all of whom are freelance personal trainers who collect a revenue from customers who request personal training sessions. Those freelancers also, I think, work around 5 or 10 hours free each week at the gym as part of the deal. But they're clearly a key part of delivering the product and service. In terms of process, Pure Gym has been a leader and innovator in terms of digitizing the fitness experience. So, for example, booking exercise classes using an app, and of course managing your membership online. And lastly, of course, the physical environment. So the changing rooms in a Pure Gym are pretty clean, very clean and modern, but they're very different from what you might find in an upmarket or luxury gym like Virgin Active. Very different experience, and that's deliberately so to help shape the physical environment. So there we go, that's an introduction to and an illustration of what we mean by the extended marketing mix.
This ad is so annoying. It keeps following me. I don't know why. You've missed my whole point. Okay, so as far as that goes, we're in the extended marketing mix here. And that's on page 64. So people, I think, okay, so when we look at the marketing mix, what we're trying to do is determine some comparison that we can make with our competitors. So in every case, in every case, we need one element of the marketing mix that we are better than our competitors. That's our competitive advantage. We don't have to be better in every single way. We just have to be better in some way. So when we think about the marketing mix and the extended marketing mix, of course, we need staff and training and all that. But the question is, are we better than the competition? Do we have to? No. If we have another advantage, we could just be at the same level of quality of staff service. But there are some times, and I'm sure you've had this happen to you, where you have a choice between 2 cafes or 2 places that you can meet your friends, and you like the staff in one place better than others. Everything else is equal. The prices are not so different. You don't really care about the taste of the coffee. It's not really that important. The atmosphere is kind of okay. There's no better element to it, but then you know the staff there is more friendly, so that makes your choice. So sometimes people can be a competitive advantage. So the people element of the marketing mix is most important for service businesses and can have an impact on the businesses selling goods sometimes. People includes the individual staff members and the employees who are working in the business who provide the service to the customer. Customer service, very important. This requires consideration of the elements of staffing that relate to the market, such as conditions, like the conditions they're working in, relevant training, qualifications, how informed they are. Do they understand what they're selling you? Can they answer your questions? Communication skills, which is a big problem if you're a foreigner in Vietnam, and even if you speak Vietnamese, people don't even want to try to speak. They're like, they won't speak back to you. They'll just run away. Sometimes they just hide behind the counter. That's great service. As well as having the needed manufacturing and selling skills. The business can define its competitive advantage by focusing on its customers. Customer focus, we looked at that before a few lessons ago. Customer focus is important, though ensuring that employees are well trained and competent. So that starts from the beginning of when the customer enters the shop. We know, like in a sushi restaurant, it's a masa masa, masa masa. People notice you right when you come in, all the way till the end. They give you, sometimes in some restaurants, they'll give you some like free dessert or something sweet to go, or green tea or something before you leave. They take care of you to the end. So some customers are terrible too, and it's not always up to the service people. I mean, it does depend on your customers as well and what their expectation is. But that goes through the whole experience that the customer has with the business. The business should focus on training. Starbucks does a good job at that. They train their staff very well. They train their staff very well, and they write your name. They write your name on the cup, and they call you by name, and you have a card, and your name is on the card, and it comes up on the computer, and they always tell you when you get a free drink, and it's, yeah, I mean, Starbucks is interesting. I mean, they're a big chain, super huge company, but their goal is always to make their cafe seem like it's a little bit like a neighbor, like it's your cafe. Like you can, they don't change their staff around a lot. They actually keep the same staff in the same branches for long periods of time, which is pretty smart as well. So, and it all depends on what kind of business, right? So the knowledge that you have, your selling ability. Employees in the business might be involved in direct selling. Sometimes there's agents, they work on commission, and they get paid per customer. They have to be very good at selling. Or they could be providing customer service, such as in a retail store, or technical support. These employees might require training for telephone sales, public speaking even, face-to-face with customers, or selling online, being able to process online. So all the different kinds. There's 4 things here: training in the box, relationship marketing, establishing some relationship with the customer, building loyalty, also marketing to suppliers and employees. So if you're a business and you're selling something where service is important, you need to find ways to inform and help the employees sell your product. Let's say you're Sony and you're trying to sell TVs, and you deliver a bunch of TVs to like an electronics store. You might send one of your agents to the store to inform the employees in the store about the features and benefits of your television so they can serve the customers better. So that might be part of distribution too. You have to coordinate the information that you give with your staff to suppliers and sometimes retail, and then quality of service. Relationship marketing, sometimes called CRM, customer relationship management. A business with a clear customer focus is often using the concept of relationship marketing, where customers are treated as individuals and staff in the business build up a connection with customers by having rapport with customers, knowing them, so when they come there, they're greeted. The employees of the business can feel more positive and motivated in their workplace. It's good for employees too, right? The customer will benefit because they receive personalized service, a greater understanding of the benefits and features of the product or service being purchased, and they will often become loyal or repeat customers. Repeat customers might purchase more features or upgrade a product more regularly because they have a personal connection to the business. They are also more likely to drop in to a physical shop or to surf the business internet site in order to see the latest news, special deals, and products. Customer loyalty. I mean, hairdressers. Think about hairdressers. The relationship is so important. Everybody wants to like the person who's cutting their hair. If you have a pet and you really care about your pet, you want to be very, whoever's watching your pet while you're away, you really care about how, what they're feeling, what kind of person they are and how you feel about them. There's a lot of businesses like that. There's a lot of situations where you care about the feelings of the person who's, let's see what we can do here. Staff, that is. I don't know, my nose thing. Terrible. All right, another highlight of people in the marketing mix. Customers are more likely to be loyal to an organization. So customers are loyal and staff will become loyal. Motivated, training, customer sales, after sales service. And so if you're in a hotel, for example, some examples of what includes people are friendly staff when you get there, of course. People who are knowledgeable, like where should we go? Is there any restaurant near here? Where can I change money? Can I get picked up and taken to the airport? So all the stuff that the staff can help you navigate wherever you are. Concierge is a service that's there to specifically to help you with some logistics. Cleaning staff, friendly, secure, excuse me, trustable, right? And service is pretty reasonably on time, so you feel happy about that. So that would be an example of a hotel is very people dependent in service. Okay, and now process. Process is, so once the customer gets involved with your business, whether it starts with an advertisement or walking into your shop or whatever introduction they get, what happens to them? What is the process that they go through in their relationship with your business? So you should know the steps, and you should have an idea of what your customer experience is going to be. You should role play what it's like. Okay, if I'm a customer and I have this happen, or if I want to know this, is it clear who they should talk to? Can they order online, or do they have to, what ordering system do they have? What's the, do they feel, does the customer understand where they are in the system at any given time? So they feel like they have an option to call somebody or to get help. Do they understand what their options are? And so that goes all the way through to any deliveries that happen, any complaints, any service, any installations that have to happen. If you need some help to set up something like a cable TV or something like that. So how does that work? How responsive are they to your phone calls? How you pay, how you get your bill, who checks the bill, right? Sometimes you're in a situation where you feel like the bill is wrong. That's a horrible feeling. Who can is there an, is everything okay? Can you check your bill or can you confirm it? So, they give 4 elements of this process element. Customer queries, that means questions, and quotes. Quotes means understanding the prices. Understanding the prices clearly. Following up orders, so that's usually for deliveries and also to check customer satisfaction. Delivery and billing. Billing means the bill that you pay. Complaints and after-sales service, and that's mostly support. So, the marketing mix for a service business can involve a lengthy process of providing customer experience. I would highlight consideration of what the customer is going to be experiencing at every stage of their visit and how they might choose to interact with the business is an important part of the process. So even when you go to some place like an amusement park or a zoo or whatever, usually you kind of imagine or a convenience store really, you imagine the trip that the customer is going to make around, how are they going to walk, which direction are they going to walk in, are you going to lead them all the way to the exit again, will you put some place to eat about, at the point where you feel like, every 100 meters people get tired or whatever, you have to put some place for them to stop and sit down, so you have to organize it so it makes sense for people who are there to relax. Consideration of what the consumer is going to be experiencing at every stage of their visit and how they might choose to interact with the business is an important part of process. Processes involve ensuring the business has procedures for correct customer service. Correct. Provides a great customer experience, always follows up inquiries, and provides customer quotes, price quotes. The business can differentiate itself from the competition by identifying important points where the customer will interact with the business in some way, and by working hard to improve the customer experience. Yeah, that could be something as simple as just how one airline has an easier check-in process. So customers feel it's quicker to get into the airplane and get to where they want to go. They don't have to get to the airport so early because it's easy to check in. Or you can have like ViaJet, and then everybody from every plane goes to the same 4 lines no matter what time they take off, and everybody's super confused, and they're all worried that they're going to be late. That's a horrible system. So the process can hurt you. Not only can it help you, but it can hurt you if your process is poor. Parking. It's a simple thing, right? Everybody has to have a place to park, but in some shops, I might not go. In San Francisco, parking is horrible. There are some shops I won't bother to go to if I have to park the car. I'm just not going to go there. It's going to take me 40 minutes to find a parking space, so it's over. Oh, okay, you have your own private parking garage or some relationship with some garage that allows your customers to park there. And I know that. Great, I'm going to go. I'm going to meet my friend at that restaurant. I'm going to go there. But if I have to find a parking space myself, no way, I'm not going. So, you have to think about how people get there, what kind of transit, how convenient it is for them to stop and go into your shop. It's very, there's a whole, I think that's a legitimate part of your thinking about and different from the other 4 Ps. An effective service process encourages customers to return to the business, and how easy it is. They will start to form a relationship with the business and its product, which in turn should increase their customer loyalty to the business. So there's new laws in Vietnam, for example, about drinking and driving, for example. So I know some bars now, they try to keep their customers, so they hire some drivers to drive people home after they go to the bar, so they don't have to drive home and they don't have to drive with alcohol in their system. It's a great idea. business concepts. A consumer attending a wildlife park might enter the park through a gift shop, which has to be staffed and presented in a particular way. They might then move through the park and interact with some of the animals, as well as attend a show or a display involving people or animals displaying particular skills. This person can then also attend a wildlife film or use a coffee shop on the premises. Every element of their day-long visit involves a complex marketing process where the consumer can make different decisions, including the decision to eventually leave the park at some point. Physical marketing. Let's look at an example of process here. This is pretty good. Process. Systems must minimize time wasting. They should be able to deal with complaints. That's also people. But basically, time wasting, accessibility, and just, overall feeling, like the customer knows where they should go and what they should do. Here's a hotel, again. What's the process? Okay, I go online, I look at the dates that I want, I can find the kinds of rooms, check all the rooms and the services and everything. I can get meals, I can order to have breakfast or not have breakfast. I can order a pickup at the airport. I can check in and check out easily. If there's a problem, I can solve it quickly. The service, the people who are cleaning the rooms, they are coming at a regular time that's predictable and convenient for the people who are there. And all the services provided by the hotel are clear in the hotel room. And they try to solve your problems. So that would be process in through out. A little bit with people in there too, of course. And then they talk about a physical environment, which I'm not pushing that one. I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, of course, in a hotel, you would expect a comfortable bed, some minor coffee and tea making equipment in the room. Everything works properly. Wi-Fi, that's product. I'm sorry, that's product. That's what I feel about that. Anyway, all of these things don't really change, right? That's why I put it under product. So I see this in our book on page 66. It says branding. Branding is something that doesn't change, and I've already thought about it in terms of product. Uniforms, that's just the image, that's brand image, that's the same thing. Shop front, to me that's brand image. So I don't know why they imagine this as being very different from others. I mean, I would put that into even process, like the ergonomics of having to travel through the shop, that what's it like to go through the shop? Is it, everything easy to figure out the prices and easy to reach and things that are going to get broken or out of the level of children's ability to break them? Just simple things. To me, that's the process. I don't know if that's really different. Performance is the one I like as the 7th P. And performance, to me, is a competitive event. Not for this assignment, not for our marketing plan this time, but you imagine performance is just understanding also the flows of your business better than your competition. So when is it going to be busy? You have more staff. When is it going to be slow? You save money. You don't have so many staff. You order the right amounts of food for your restaurant because you understand how busy your customers are going to be. You just don't waste. You recycle. You set goals, and you have better cost controls and better sales controls than your competition. Your prices make more sense. Your prices reflect costs and have a clear profit margin. So to me, performance is about management. Can you have two businesses that are equal in almost every other way, and then one business is more profitable because they manage their costs better, because they manage their systems better, and their people? Definitely. So I think you can put that under marketing. I mean, it's a bit of financial, but it also could be in marketing by understanding, because you do understand your customers, you understand what they want, how to efficiently serve them. So that to me is the real 7P. The performance of the business can be monitored through the evaluation of business marketing goals and objectives. When marketing objectives are set, they should be included in a statement about how they will be measured. That also includes how you use your advertising budget. Do you use your ad budget in the best possible way? That would be better than your competition. Save you money, be more effective. Then, when the marketing campaign is over, these measurement objectives can be used as a method for reviewing the success of the goals. By creating KPIs, which we're going to talk about a lot later, KPIs, key performance indicators, that means something where you set targets and goals based on last year or last month, and you try to beat them, or you try to have a goal that your target is to reach. That's a KPI, key performance indicator. For each marketing objective, a measurable set of data can be reviewed. Obviously, you have some that are very basic, like sales. I'm on page 67. So, for example, the business owner can set sales targets with employees and encourage them to achieve their goals. If you have individual salespeople, then that creates a little bit of friendly competition. You can also reward them. Then you can have goals for each branch of your coffee shop compared to other branches and have them in competition with each other. So you set a goal, you set a KPI. Number of sales, number of customer queries, number of website hits, number of people who touch your Facebook page, actual sales increases, people who are recognizing the brand recognition, how long it takes to process some kind of complaint or return or problem, and how many people use the discounts or how many people use the sales promotion. So those are all, I think, fairly self-explanatory. Another example of something that might relate to performance would be customer satisfaction, and this would be evaluated again by some number. KPIs have to be number-based. They have to be something you can measure. So if you're going to look at customer satisfaction somehow, you have to think of a way that you can evaluate it. There are different ways. People will say, okay, were you very satisfied, somewhat dissatisfied, completely dissatisfied? You try to leave it so there's nothing in the middle, right? So there's, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate us? Would you take it? You know, this happens on telephone calls too, like, what, you know, would you take a minute to rate our website? No. Grab bikes. GrabBike has a built-in customer service evaluation system. They have a pull-down menu about what complaints you can have about the driver, safety, hygiene, motorbike is quality of the motorbike, navigation services, driver attitude. So they can get specific feedback about their customers. Now they also can check how many people are repeat customers, right? If they see that people are having trouble with them in different ways, they can see how many people slow down using their service because of bad service. So these services like GrabBike really need the feedback. Let's see. And also, let's see, what else, you know, I think it's a great example, GrabBike. So your customer experience is like how many bikes are available, how long it takes for the bike to pick you up, the quality of the helmet, it's always terrible. Driver safety, how safe you feel. Do they find where you're going easy enough? Yeah, so there's about 4 or 5. You can probably make a list of like 5 or 6 different elements there that you could compare. So that's pretty much, you would put that under performance, right? Those measurements of quality and performance. Customer responses can be collected in a number of ways, through surveys, point of sale, but now apps. Apps is a great way to collect information. Written survey, included with a product, informal conversations with customers. You can use your staff to get information about your customers. Employee feedback. If they see problems, you should ask your employees what problems they think the customers have. And people who start to buy your service but they stop, what's the reason why? They get to the point where they're almost going to buy and then they stop, so what is the reason for that? So those are pretty much the 7 P's there, and I think that's enough for today to get through that marketing mix. I will yep, I'll just upload this today. It's Wednesday the 18th of March. Time is ticking. 18th. Oh, that means your stuff is due. See you later.